Hi, my friends. I'm so excited to bring you a walkthrough of this beautiful deck. It's the Anima Mundi Tarot by Megan. Um, I'm gonna butcher her name. Wyridden. Wyridden. I apologize for not. I probably should have looked up the pronunciation, but it's a stunner. I backed this on Kickstarter. It arrived yesterday. Um, she will be selling this in her Etsy shop, and I'll leave the link below. I believe it's Creeping Moon is the name. Um, is it on here? It might be in the box. Anyway, it came packaged in this beautifully, glossy black box with black and gold tissue paper, and then the deck was inside. The deck was wrapped in plastic too. Just beautifully packaged. I love artists. Yes, it's in the box. Let's see. thecreepingmoon.com/tarot. So, on the website, you can also see all of the images of the cards, but I'm about to walk through them with you as well. I fell in love with these images the second I saw the brief Kickstarter video, and I backed it immediately. I have referred to this deck in the past. Let me grab these, actually. I probably should prepare these things ahead of time. I have referred to this deck as the love child of the Wild Unknown and the Pagan Otherworlds. Because they sort of it's like it combines these two decks in a weird way into one. Not in a weird way, in a beautiful way. But the painting style is very similar to the Pagan Otherworlds. The pip style is very similar. It's a primarily animal deck with similar energy and structure in a way to the Wild Unknown. So if you like these two decks, I would wager that you'd like this deck in particular. So let's get into a walkthrough, shall we? So it comes in this great box. That's a lift off box, and it's really pretty. This is what the back of the cards look like, but I'll show you that. So, and then it comes with a guidebook, and it's pretty standard booklet fare. What's nice about each of the cards, though, she doesn't talk about why she chose what she chose necessarily, but she does talk about the animal or plant element that is pictured in the cards. So that's nice. This is playing cardstock, so it's going to shuffle well, and that's another way in which it reminds me of the Pagan Otherworlds. So let me zoom in. Let's see. I just want to get the light right. This is just a beautiful deck. Now, like all decks, there's going to be things that people have quibbles with. You know what I mean? It's primarily a nature-based deck, but there are human elements in it, like cups and pentacles and keys and that sort of thing. But it really doesn't bother me. It's beautifully gilded. This reminds me a bit of the gilding on the Dreams of Gaia, just in terms of its sort of consistency and its shininess, and also just some places where it sort of has already started, or it wasn't sort of applied well. But again, you know what I mean? It's like, this is an indie deck. It's beautifully created. I'm willing to, and I like my decks to look used anyway, so try to line that up. So I'm just going to walk through fairly quickly, just so you can get a sense of the cards. As I said, she will be selling this on her Etsy shop as of next week. It was a print run of $7.50, but she said on Instagram yesterday that even after sending the decks to all the backers, she still has plenty left to sell. So here's the Fool, the Magician. I just find this art really beautiful. I really do. She's selling the original paintings, and I really want to buy one. I'm sort of stuck between which ones I want. We'll see if I can if I get around to it. But I just love the art so much. This is the High Priestess. Here's the Empress. So this is not a deck that's full of symbolism, right? This isn't a deck that you sort of sink into all the imagery. it's a deck that is it's pretty simple in a lot of ways, which I like. But I think the choices are by and large really beautiful. Um, and they are sort of similar to the decks that I mentioned, and even other decks. There's the Emperor, here's the Hierophant. So again, you sort of see keys here. It doesn't bother me much because there is actually one human in this deck, and I think it's a really interesting choice. But also, we're viewing the tarot. We're using the tarot to explore our human lives. So it doesn't bother me much. Here are the Lovers, the Chariot. I really like sort of charging ram, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Justice. Love this Justice card. The Hanged Man. This is one, I sort of agree with folks, even in the Wild Unknown, who say with the bat reversed. For me, the Hanged Man isn't just about perspective. It's about sometimes suffering and frequently about consequences. So, I have a little bit more of an old fashioned Marseille view of the Hanged Man, but still, it doesn't, like, nothing in this deck is so aggressively messaged or symbolic that you can't read your own meanings into this. Because there's a beautiful simplicity to this. I mean, look at this Temperance card. Whoops. So this is the one human in the deck, and it's the Devil, and I think that is a fascinating choice, right? Because in a deck full of nature-based plants and animals and landscapes, the one bound character, the one sort of devil is the human, which I mean, when we look at our relationship to nature by and large, even if you don't accept what we're doing to the planet as something devilish, we are chained in a lot of ways by the life we lead. So I just think it's a fascinating choice. Here's the Tower as a volcano, the Star, the beautiful moon. It's just, these are beautiful paintings in their own right, and they just sort of feel really nice as a deck of cards. Here's Judgment, and the World is very beautiful too. Now, all of these are things, you know what I mean? She made conscious choices, which is why I sort of wish she had talked a little bit more in the guidebook. The world here is the Amazon rainforest, and she does say the Amazon rainforest accounts for 20% of the Earth's oxygen production, giving it the nickname the lungs of the Earth. So she talks a little bit occasionally about the choices she made, but again, it's just so beautiful. So here we get into the suits. Like most Rider-Waite-Smith decks, I have a problem with some of the swords cards, but by and large, actually, I think that this is Rider-Waite-Smith enough to please Rider-Waite-Smith folks, and Pippi enough to please non-Rider-Waite-Smith folks. So here's the Ace of Wands, the beautiful Two of Wands. Oh my god, I love this card. Oh, I just want to sink into that image. The 3, the 4. So you do get some pippishness in this deck, which again I really appreciate, and it was one of the things that made me back it. But again, also here in the 5, one gets conflict. You know what I mean? So it's sort of a hybrid deck. Gosh, I just adore this deck. I really adore it. And the quibbles I have with the Suit of Swords are the same quibbles I have with other Suits of Swords in other decks, so it's not like that's going to stop me using this deck any more than any other. There's the 8. The beautiful 9. I love this deck. And the 10. So you can see how it has kind of an energy of the Pagan Otherworlds, where there's no humans in the pips, and the pips can be slightly even closer to Marseille in their sort of generality, which again I appreciate. And then the courts are all animals. So here's the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands. And then we get into the Suit of Cups. Now, it's worth noting that when I got this deck, it wasn't in order. I had to put it in order, but, you know, that's a small thing, right? Here's the Ace of Cups. So this is a suit where people who kind of get annoyed with, and I understand it, right? You know what I mean? It's a themed deck, and so why is there human elements in a nature deck? But it really doesn't bug me much. And again, I also, this artist posted all of the images for the cards that she had, and there were a lot when she put the Kickstarter up. And I have to say, this is one of the fastest Kickstarters ever. I think it was about 2 months between the project being funded, or when I backed it anyway, and getting the deck. So, I mean, it was only about October when I funded this, or when I contributed to it, I should say. I didn't do it all alone. Here's the Three of Cups, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7. So you do get some Rider-Waite-Smith energy, but you also get some of that elasticity to not read it that way, which again I appreciate. And for some reason, artists tend to sort of make the Suit of Swords the most specific, which, again, I like, this is me and what I need, right? It's not for everybody, and most people appreciate that. Most people like the Suit of Swords the way it is in Waite-Smith. So here's the Knight, the Queen. These are all water animals, and the King. Gosh, it's so pretty. I just adore this art. I really do. I think this is just stunning. I think it's breathtaking. So here we get into the Suit of Swords, and it's a very conflicted suit, right? You know what I mean? Like, love this too. Love the Ace, but then we get into the 3, and so we have this sort of dead bird, you know. But again, I just read what I read. I'm sure people are sick of hearing me say what I say when it comes to the Suit of Swords. Here's the 4, the 5, the 6. Actually, a lot of the Suit of the Swords I don't mind. It's just the ones that I do mind, like this one, are a little much. So here's the 7 and the 8 with a great bat there. Can you see that? You may not be able to see it. It's really dark. The 9, and then the 10 is the other one that is a little gruesome for my taste. But again, not any different from the Wild Unknown, you know, right? I mean, there's a pretty gruesome image too. So here's the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, a beautiful owl, and the King of Swords. And then finally, the Suit of Pentacles, which I really quite like. So we have the Ace, and beautiful too. This one really reminds me of the Pagan Otherworlds. These bees in the 3 I think are really great. I love this raccoon in the 4. I'm so in love with it. It's so cute. Here's the 5. And the 6. And the 7 with an elephant. And there's beavers in the 8. And this beautiful tiger in the 9. And then finally the wolf in the 10. And then we have the Page of Pentacles with the squirrel, which is adorable also. I really like the Suit of Pentacles and the coloring in it. It's great. I think that's a wolf. The Queen of Pentacles is this beautiful doe. And then finally the King as a bear. So I'll go ahead and shuffle this just so you can see, but it is playing cardstock, so it's going to shuffle. You know, it's meant to be shuffled, and it shuffles really nicely. So I felt, this was a love at first sight deck. When I saw it on Kickstarter, I was sort of like immediately, I have to have this, and I'm so happy it happened so quickly, because there are decks that I backed before this that won't be out for ages. So I have to give this artist some credit for making this happen so quickly. And I think, again, she didn't really start the Kickstarter until most of the images were done. And she seems to paint really quickly. She also has a beautiful shop. I mean, she's got an Etsy shop where she makes wrapping paper and paintings and prints. And I just really like her style quite a lot. So again, I adore everything about this deck. Should have zoomed out there. I think it's just breathtaking. I really love the simplicity of it. You know, it shuffles like playing cards, so you know it's going to shuffle nicely. And it just, again, it's a great deck for reading for others. It's a nice bridge deck. Not a bridge deck like playing the game bridge, but a bridge deck for folks who are sort of considering moving away from Rider-Waite-Smith a little bit, but sort of want a good transition. A transition's a better word. But I love this art so much, and I think it's beautiful. And I think the artist did a beautiful job packaging it, and yeah, so that's the Anima Mundi deck by Megan Wyrieden. I have no idea how it's pronounced, and that's embarrassing. But congratulations on this amazing, beautiful deck. I love it. There, you can get it. She said on Instagram yesterday that she probably won't be able to start selling the cards until next week, but and this being the week between Christmas and New Year's. But I would jump on it because she said she has plenty, but 750 is a limited run, and I think that this is gonna be a big hit. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Anyway, I would get it if I were you, because I think it's beautiful. So that's the Anima Mundi Tarot, and have a great day.